Hello scholars, welcome to Dakshinai classroom. We are talking about magnetism and matter in these lectures. In the last lecture, we have talked about how some materials when placed in an external magnetic field, they get magnetized. So in today's lecture, we will be talking about what are the different types of elements based on their magnetization properties. So first, we will talk about paramagnetism or paramagnetic materials. Paramagnetism. So in today's lecture, we will be talking about different types of elements based on how they are magnetized. So first will be paramagnetism. Second, we will talk about diamagnetism. Diamagnetism. And third, we will talk about ferromagnetism. So based on their magnetization properties, we can divide your elements on your level broadly into three categories. One is paramagnetic materials, second is diamagnetic materials, and third is ferromagnetic materials. Those three we are going to study in our today's lecture. Pause the video, note it down, then we will start discussing what is paramagnetism. So now let us talk about what is paramagnetism or what are paramagnetic materials. Now if you remember, in the last class we have talked about what is the cause of magnetism. So if we talk about at the atomic level, so at the atomic level, atoms of some elements have atomic dipoles of their own, and atoms of some elements do not have atomic dipole moment of their own. So if we take an element, such element which has atomic dipole moment, meaning atoms of that element have atomic dipole moment of their own. And if I keep that element in case of external magnetic field, then what happens? We have already discussed that magnetization can occur. Now let us discuss in a little bit more detail and try to define paramagnetism based on what happens when certain elements which have their own atomic dipole moments are placed in an external magnetic field. So let us write when element with atomic dipole moment is placed in an external field. So what happens when certain element whose atoms have their own atomic dipole moment, when they are placed in an external magnetic field, then what happens? So two things occur. So when you do this, two things happen. Number one, atomic dipole moments which were initially in the random motion, and since they were in the random motion, their total magnetic moment was zero. Total magnetic moment of your sample of the element was zero. Now, when you place that sample in an external magnetic field, what will happen? The atomic dipoles will start experiencing torque M cross B, and due to that torque, they will start aligning themselves in the direction of external field. So first thing that will occur is atomic dipoles will align themselves in the direction of external field. That is number one thing that will occur. Now there is another thing that occurs that is not very evident. Now the other thing is that whenever you try to change a system, for example, you take any system, at the general concept, that if there is a system, running system, for example, if there is a school, there is a college, there is a government, anything, if you want to change a already established system, and whenever you try to change that system, what happens? The system opposes the change. For example, what is happening here? Here what you are trying to do? You are trying to align the magnets, align the atomic dipoles in the direction of external field. So this external field is trying to change the internal structure of your system. What is the system? The sample. Here let us say that here this is my sample and random motion is there. Random motion. And if the random motion is there, so what this external field, if I apply the external field here, the external magnetic field, what that external magnetic field will try to do? That will try to change the internal structure of the system. And nobody likes to change their own system, especially when somebody from outside is doing it. So what will happen is, this dipole, atomic dipoles, which are being changed by the external field. So what will happen is, the atoms of your element, they will try to oppose the external field. So there will be an induced dipole moment. Now what is the purpose of this induced dipole moment? The purpose of this induced dipole moment is to oppose the external field. Why? Because the external field is trying to change the internal structure of my sample, of my element. So an induced dipole moment will occur, and that induced dipole moment will try to oppose the external magnetic field. Now remember that induced dipole moment is different from this dipole moment. This dipole moment was already there. Whether or not there is an external field, atomic dipoles is already there. In case of external field, they will just align themselves. But a dipole moment is induced in the presence of external magnetic field in order to oppose the external field, because they do not like change in their system. So you can say a dipole moment will be induced in the atoms. Now remember, I am telling again, this induced dipole moment is different from the atomic dipole moment that was already there. That atomic dipole moment is already there whether or not external field is there or not. Irrespective of external field, this atomic dipole moment is already there. But this induced dipole moment will be there only when there is an external field. And what is the purpose of this? This induced dipole will try to oppose this field because it does not like change in its system. So a dipole moment will be induced in the atoms and it will oppose external field. This is called Lenz's law. Lenz's law we will talk about when we talk about electromagnetic induction. There we will study this in detail. But for now you can say that whenever a field is applied, the system does not like change. So what system tries to do is a dipole moment will be induced in the atoms, and that dipole moment will oppose the external field. Remember, this induced dipole moment and this atomic dipole moment that is already there, they are two different things. This will be there no matter what, but this will be there only when there is an external field. Now, second point, now you can write. Now what happens? That this induced dipole moment is very small. Its magnitude is very small. So overall, this atomic dipole which aligns is greater and this is small. So you can say that dipole moment due to alignment is greater than dipole moment that is induced. So here you can write dipole moment due to alignment is greater than induced dipole moment. Now what is the meaning of this? See here, induced dipole moment is trying to oppose the external field. So induced dipole moment will be in the opposite direction to the field, and the already dipole which are there, alignment, they are in the same direction. So here dipole moment due to alignment and induced dipole moment, they will be in the opposite direction. So what will happen? Since dipole moment due to alignment is greater and induced dipole moment is small, you will have a net dipole moment in the direction of external magnetic field. So here you can write a net. Why I am saying net? Because that is the resultant of dipole moment due to alignment plus induced dipole moment, and they are in the opposite direction. And since dipole moment due to alignment is greater than the induced, net dipole moment will be in the direction of external field. So a net dipole moment is established in the direction of external field. So what is actually happening? When you place a material in the external magnetic field, two things happen. Number one, the already present dipoles align themselves in the direction of field, but the system does not like change. So what it will do is, it will be some induced dipole moment, and that induced dipole moment will try to oppose the external field. But the alignment dipole moment is greater than induced dipole moment, and that is why a net dipole moment will be established in the direction of external field. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now that we have seen that alignment, dipole moment due to alignment is greater than the dipole moment which is induced, so there is net magnetic dipole moment established which is in the direction of external field. Now what will happen? That we have already discussed this in the magnetization, that since net dipole moment is greater in the direction of your magnetic field, external magnetic field, what will happen is the total magnetic field inside the material will be greater than the original magnetic field, that is external magnetic field. So we'll say tendency to increase field. What is happening here? Here your material is getting magnetized. So due to the magnetization, your magnetic field is increasing. So I will say that tendency to increase field, which is magnetic field, due to magnetization magnetization is called magnetization of material is called paramagnetism. So what is paramagnetism? That is, if you place a material which has its own atomic dipole moments, and when you place that material in case of external magnetic field, what happens? That material gets magnetized. So that property, a magnetization, tendency to increase magnetic field due to magnetization, that is called your paramagnetism, and such materials are called paramagnetic materials. Such materials materials are called paramagnetic materials. In today's lecture, there is mostly theoretical. There are no numericals. Sorry to say that, but this is mostly theoretical concept. So they are called paramagnetic material. Now some examples of paramagnetic material. Now, in case you want to know the example of paramagnetic material, let us say that as example you can say sodium. Sodium will be a paramagnetic material. Now, another thing you can talk about paramagnetic materials is, we have talked about that inside the paramagnetic materials, magnetic field is greater. Now, how greater? Now, when we talk about how much greater magnetic field is inside the paramagnetic material, now see here, let us say that this is your material sample and there is an external field. So, let us say that external field is like this. External field is like this. And when it goes inside the material, it will be denser. It will be denser than outside. So, when magnetic fields go inside a paramagnetic material, they become denser than the original. So, here you can write magnetic field lines are denser inside a paramagnetic material. Now like this. Now one more thing that you can write. Now when a paramagnetic material is placed inside a non-uniform field, for example this external field which we are talking about, which is magnetizing our material, if that external field is non-uniform means in some area field is weak, in other areas field is strong. So if a paramagnetic material is placed in a non-uniform external magnetic field, then what will happen? Now as you know that some materials are attracted towards the magnet and some are repelled by the magnet. So we will talk about that. So when a paramagnetic material is placed inside a non-uniform external field, it will move towards which direction? Since external field is greater, now what it is doing is, alignment is supporting the external field. Alignment is in the direction of external field. So your paramagnetic material will move which direction? From the weaker field to the stronger field. Why? Because total alignment is in the direction of your external field. So when a paramagnetic material is placed in a non-uniform external field, so you can write that a paramagnetic material will move from weak to strong field region when placed in a non-uniform field. So whenever a paramagnetic material will be placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, what will happen? It will move from which region to which region? From weak field region to strong field region. So that is your paramagnetic material. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss your diamagnetic material. Now let us talk about diamagnetism or diamagnetic materials. Now if you remember, when we were talking about cause of magnetism, we talked about that at atomic level, atomic dipoles are formed, but not all the elements have atomic dipoles. In the elements where electrons are in pair, for example, we take the example of helium. In helium, 1s2. So 1s2, so there will be two electrons in the s orbital. So two electrons, they cancel each other's dipole moment. So that is why in some elements atoms do not have their own atomic dipole moments. So if such elements where the atoms do not have their own atomic dipole moments, if such elements are placed in external magnetic field, then what happens? So let us write, when elements with zero atomic dipole moments, meaning they don't have their own atomic dipole moments, meaning atoms of these elements do not have their own atomic dipole moment, zero atomic dipole moments. When elements with zero atomic dipole moment are placed in external field. So when atoms like this are placed in external field, then what will happen? Now if you remember, we have already talked about in paramagnetism that whenever an element is placed in an external field, then two things can happen. One, if the atomic dipoles are already present, they can align themselves in the direction of field, and another, that there will be an induced atomic dipole moment, and induced atomic dipole moment tries to oppose the external field. Here there is no atomic dipole moments of its own, but there will be induced atomic dipole moment. So here we will write, dipole moment will be induced and it will oppose. So remember, induced dipole moment always opposes the cause. What is cause? External field. So induced dipole moment will always oppose the external field. So dipole moment will be induced and it will oppose the external field. So it will oppose external field. Now, since there is no atomic dipole moment of its own, there can be no alignment in this case. There will be no alignment of atomic dipoles. And if there is no alignment, what we can say? One is the external field. Another will be the field due to induced atomic dipoles. And since the induced dipole moment is trying to oppose the external field. So for example, let us say that here we have a material and here is the external field in this direction, B external. Now induced dipole moment are trying to oppose this field. So induced dipole moment will be like this, overall in this direction, opposite direction. So if I talk about net field inside the material, if I talk about total field inside the material, then you can say that total field is nothing but B external plus field due to induced dipoles. And field due to induced dipole is always opposite to the external field. So total field inside the material will be less than the external field. So you can say that total field inside the material will be less than the external field. So net field inside the material will be less than external field. So what is happening? In case of paramagnetic materials, if you remember, total field inside the material was greater than the external field. But here, total field inside the material is less than the external field. So such materials where net field inside the material is less than the external field applied, such materials are called diamagnetic materials. You can write such materials are called diamagnetic. So in case of diamagnetic materials, since there is no atomic dipole moment of its atom on their own, the induced dipole moment is always there in case of external field is present, and induced dipole moment opposes the external field, and that is why total field inside is less than the external field. So in this case, such materials are diamagnetic materials, and the property where total field is less than the external, that property is called diamagnetism. Pause the video, then we will discuss a little bit more about diamagnetism. So if the net field inside a diamagnetic material will be less than external field, so if I want to plot the magnetic field lines, how the magnetic field lines will look like inside a diamagnetic material. So let us try to draw. So let us say that this is my sample of diamagnetic material like this. Now, if the magnetic field lines external are, let us say, like this, or let us draw it more clearly in order to illustrate. Let us say that uniform magnetic field lines are going like this, or more closely let us draw. So let us draw uniform field lines that are going inside our sample like this. And this is your diamagnetic material. And since field inside a diamagnetic material has to be less than the external field, and we know that the proximity of field lines is an indicator of field strength. So if the field strength inside is less than the external, then inside field lines should be more further apart. So if the external field lines are parallel to each other, then inside what you can say, field lines will be more separate like this. So inside field lines will be further apart from each other. So magnetic field lines inside will be further apart. Why? Because total field inside is less than the external field. So here you can say that magnetic field lines inside a diamagnetic material will be rarer. Why rarer? Because magnetic field total inside is smaller than external magnetic field. Now, what about the motion? Now, if I place a diamagnetic material in place of in an external magnetic field, then what should be the motion of this material? Now, as we have seen in case of a paramagnetic material, when you place a paramagnetic material in case of non-uniform field, then that material moves in the direction of stronger field, meaning from weaker to strong field region. In case of diamagnetic, it is exactly opposite. In case of diamagnetic, it moves from stronger to weaker field. So you can say that when placed in a non-uniform field, they move. Who moves? Diamagnetic materials. They move from strong to weak field region. So whenever a diamagnetic material will be placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, it will move from strong field region to weak field region. Why? Why it is that? Because a diamagnetic material does not want very high magnetic field inside it. That is why it is reducing the magnetic field. So if you place it in the strong, then it will try to reduce the magnetic field inside it, and in order to do so, it will move from strong field region to a weak field region. Now, if you want to write the examples of diamagnetic materials, then you can say, let us say nitrogen is the example, your H2O will be example. So there are substances which are diamagnetic, both your compounds and elements. So that is your diamagnetic materials. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss your ferromagnetic materials or ferromagnetism. Now let us talk about what is ferromagnetism or what are ferromagnetic materials. Now if you remember, we have already talked about in paramagnetism, atomic dipoles align themselves in the presence of external field. Now that is the very crucial difference between ferromagnetic and paramagnetic. So in paramagnetic, the atomic dipoles can align themselves only when external field is present. But in case of ferromagnetism or in case of ferromagnetic materials, atomic dipoles can align themselves without any external field. That is the very crucial difference. So here you can write, in some materials, atomic dipoles have a tendency to align without external field. So even if there is no external field, they can align themselves. Now when we are saying align themselves, align to what? In case of paramagnetic, they align themselves in the direction of field. Here we are saying that there is no field. So align to what? Align to which direction? So let us see what happens here. In case of paramagnetism, every atom has its own direction of atomic dipole moment. But in case of ferromagnetism, what happens? A number of atoms club together, and every atom will have same direction of dipole moment. So a number of atoms club together, atomic dipoles club together to form a, let us say, cluster of atomic dipoles, and these cluster overall will have atomic dipole moment or the magnetic dipole moment in one direction. So what we will say? Let us say that some number of atoms. How many numbers? That is approximately 10 to the power 20 or 25, something like that, a large number. So what we will say? A number. What number? Around 10 to the power 20. Around 10 to the power 20. A number of atomic dipoles club together in a group. All the atoms in this group will have atomic dipoles in one direction. So all atoms will have dipole moment in one direction in this group. So if all the atoms in this group have atomic dipole moment in one direction, then what will happen? There will be an overall dipole moment of this group. So this group where around 10 to the power 20 atoms club together and they all have dipole moment in one direction, this group is called your domain, magnetic domain. So this group with overall magnetic moment in one direction is called domain, or sometimes it is also written as magnetic domain, no problem. So what is happening? In case of paramagnetism, atoms do not club together to form a group, but in case of ferromagnetism, the atoms can club together to form a group, and in that group all the atoms will have dipole moment in one direction. So this group with overall magnetic moment in one direction is called domain. So what will our ferromagnetic material look like? So for example, let us say that this is our sample here. In case of paramagnetism, there is random direction, there is no one. But in case of ferromagnetism, let us say like this. So what will happen is all the atoms in this part will have dipole moment in one direction. All the atoms. Like this. All the atoms in this part will have dipole moment in one direction. Let us say like this. All the atoms in this part will have dipole moment in one direction. Like this. And all the atoms in this part will have dipole moment in one direction. But overall, but the overall dipole moment of the entire sample, see, this group has an overall dipole moment, but there are a number of those domains in your sample, right? We have shown only 4, but in actuality there are in thousands or millions of domains in a very small sample. So here we have shown only 4. So this group will have a net dipole moment, but since there are number of domains there and each domain has its own direction, there is no relation between their direction. So what will happen? Overall moment of the sample will still be 0. So here we can say that, here you can say overall magnetic moment of the sample will be 0. Why? Because there are number of domains and each domain has its own direction of magnetic moment. So pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further that what happens when you place a ferromagnetic material in an external magnetic field. Now what will happen when a ferromagnetic material is placed inside an external field? Now let us say that here this is my ferromagnetic material and I create an external field like this, B external. Now what will be the effect of B external on my material? In case of paramagnetic, what would have happened? In case of paramagnetic, the dipoles would have rotated due to the torque in order to align themselves in the direction of external field. Now here what will happen? Now in case of ferromagnetic materials, some of the dipoles are already in the direction of field. For example, in this case, if you say that this domain, all the atomic dipoles in this domain are already in alignment with your external field, then there is no need to disturb them. But in this domain, in this domain, in this domain, dipoles are in the other direction. Now what will happen? Dipoles from these domains will rotate themselves in order to align with the external. Now, so what happens when you place B external, then what happens? That more and more dipoles align themselves in the direction of B external. And if that happens, what it looks like? It looks like that domain, the domain which had its direction in the direction of external field, it looks like that domain has grown in size. From outside, if you take a look, it will appear as if the domain which has its magnetic moment in the direction of external field, that domain looks like it has grown in size. So what you can say, when placed in external field, when placed in an external field. Now whenever you place in an external field, what actually happens? What actually happens is all the atomic dipoles which are not in alignment with your external field, all of those dipoles will experience torque because M cross B. And if sine theta is not 0, then they will experience torque. So all of these dipoles, these atomic dipoles and atomic dipoles here, all of these dipoles, they will experience torque. But what will happen? When they rotate themselves to align themselves in the direction of B external, then what it will look like? It will look like that your domain is grown. Which domain? Domain which had its magnetic moment in the direction of external magnetic field. So here you can write, when placed in an external field, domain with magnetic moment in direction of external field grows in size. For example, let us take an example. That let us say that the IPL is going on. Let us say that there is a team. The team is losing, but there are some fans of that team. And when that team starts winning, then the number of fans increases because more and more people start supporting that team. So what is happening here? B external. So there were a number of domains, number of peoples. Some people have direction in the same direction from beginning, but as soon as there is an external field, what is happening? Other dipoles are also rotating themselves in the direction of B external, and so the domain with magnetic moment in the direction of B external, that domain starts growing. So here the domain starts, external field grows in size. Now, if the domain with the magnetic moment in the direction of external field grows in size, then what happens? Then what will happen? Ultimately, what will happen? Ultimately, this material which initially did not had any net magnetic moment, now this material will have a net magnetic moment. So now this material gets magnetized. Why magnetized? Because number of atomic dipoles are rotating and domain is increasing in size. Now remember, domain formation is the property of ferromagnetic material. Both in ferromagnetic and paramagnetic, atoms have atomic dipole moment of their own, but in case of paramagnetic they do not form domains, but in case of ferromagnetic they do form a domain. So magnetization. Now when we talk about magnetization, in case of paramagnetism, magnetization is very weak. In case of ferromagnetism, magnetization is very strong. Why magnetization is very strong in ferromagnetism? Because they were already aligning themselves without any field. And when you placed the field, it simply helped them to align better. But in case of paramagnetism, they were moving randomly. So we will say that magnetization of ferromagnetic materials is very strong when compared to paramagnetic. Magnetization of ferromagnetic materials is very strong. And if the magnetization is very strong, what about total field inside the ferromagnetic material? What would be the total field? In case of diamagnetism, total field is small, less compared to the external. In case of paramagnetism, total field is greater than the external. But in case of ferromagnetism, total field is a lot greater than, very much greater than external field. Why? Because magnetization is very strong, 10 to the power 3 strong. We will talk about this when we talk about your paramagnetic or ferromagnetic magnetization. We have already seen. When we talk about some other property, that is susceptibility, permeability, when we will talk about how strong this is. So here you can say net field inside such materials meaning ferromagnetic materials, such materials is very strong than external field. So when you compare magnetic field inside ferromagnetic material, inside and outside, so inside field will be very strong when compared to external field. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss few more details of ferromagnetism. Now as we have seen that in case of paramagnetism, a paramagnetic material moves from weaker field region to a stronger field region, because a paramagnetic material, you can say that it wants field inside it to be strong compared to outside. And in case of diamagnetism, a diamagnetism material does not want field to be strong, it wants field to be weak. That is why it moves from strong to weak region. What happens when a ferromagnetic material is placed in an external field? What will happen then? So inside a ferromagnetic material, field is very strong, and if field is very strong, it tries to make it more stronger. So you can remember it like this: if the inside field is strong, it will move towards strong field. If the inside field is weak, it will move towards weak field region. So when a ferromagnetic material is placed in a non-uniform external field, it moves from weak field region to a strong field region. So you can write, when a ferromagnetic, there is a lot of writing in this lecture, what to do. When a ferromagnetic material is placed in a non-uniform field, meaning at some regions field is strong, in other regions field is weak. So when a ferromagnetic material is placed in a non-uniform field, what it will try to do? It will try to move from weak field region. It will move from weak to strong field region. Strong field region, like this. So you can remember the motion direction. If you are facing difficulty which direction it will move, you can easily remember. If the inside field is greater than the external field, then it will move towards stronger field. If the inside field is weaker than the external field, then it will move towards weaker field, like that. Now what about magnetic field lines inside a ferromagnetic material? So let us draw. Let us say that this is our sample of ferromagnetic material, and let us say externally magnetic field lines are like this. Like this, very much divergent. So inside field lines will be clubbed together. Outside again they will move, divert. So inside a ferromagnetic material, field lines are very dense. Now inside a paramagnetic also they are dense. Inside a diamagnetic they are rarer. So what is the difference between, if let us say that two field lines are shown, let us say two samples are shown, and they are asking you, tell me which one is paramagnetic, which one is ferromagnetic. So for the same field lines outside, field lines inside a ferromagnetic will be denser than the paramagnetic. So if the external field is same, let us say two samples are placed, and in both the cases external field is same. So in case of ferromagnetic sample, inside field lines will be denser than the paramagnetic also. For diamagnetic they are rarer, so that is not a comparison. So inside a ferromagnetic material, field lines are denser than outside, like this. So whenever there is a field lines are given and you want to identify which one is ferromagnetic, which one is diamagnetic, which one is your paramagnetic. So if the external field is same in all the three cases, and there are three sample placed, and you have to identify which one is your ferromagnetic, which one is paramagnetic, which one is diamagnetic. So the one with most dense field lines inside will be your ferromagnetic, with less dense field lines will be paramagnetic, and with the rarest, and if the inside field lines are rarer than outside, then it will be diamagnetic. That way you can recognize. Pause the video, note it down. So this was your classification of elements based on their atomic dipole moments and their behavior in place of external magnetic field. Now we have talked about paramagnetism, diamagnetism and ferromagnetism. This was your completely theoretical concept. In the next lecture, when we talk about what is susceptibility of a material, what is permeability of a material, then we will solve few questions based on them. Until then, make proper notes, try to revise as much as you can, and if you have any doubt, then you can just drop me a message in your doubt group.